Another video I wanted to make was I've been going on TikTok a lot, right? I like TikTok because it's such you can really see the difference between CIA Tube. If I click CIA Tube right now, I'm going to tell you the kind of videos I'm being shown. So they have a few like fluff pieces, like it'll just be like, oh, makeup, lifestyle, and then there'll be like videos where they encourage you to be a fascist, right? To psychologically blame victims, to be on the side of oppressive power, harming people who are powerless, to call it justice. There's so many videos like this, like Predator Hunter is a genre of it, where somebody's accused of being a pedophile, and then the group revels in their power to destroy them. Cop videos are the exemplary case study of it, where they have these cop videos where somebody was like working at Walmart and they stole something, and the entire video is you psychologically identifying with the cops and the billionaires and getting this wayward worker who thought they could pull a fast one on the Waltons. Every video on YouTube is basically nurturing a quasi-fascist psychology where a powerless person you label with guilt and harm, and then you align with the power in society in destroying them. My plot is exemplary of this basic CIA trick to control their slaves. And we can see MAGA out in the open, nurturing the regressive vibes of the lowest strata of American society and making them nurture being on the side of the billionaires and the power structure and the police and the military and persecuting them. I'm similar for an audience with different biases, but everything on CA2 is that, right? It's look at this makeup, buy this, eat this, and hate this person. And the person you're hating is never a billionaire. It's never anyone like that. It's always someone who stepped out of line, especially if the way they stepped out of line was against the billionaire class. They stole from Walmart. They came to work and they want hours and they won't take no for an answer. And all the managers at the Amazon factory agreed to say that she made up being on the schedule. When in reality, they probably went back in their office, pressed delete on her name because they got a call from headquarters that they're overstaffed. And now they're gaslighting her, honey, you just looked at it wrong, honey. And she's like, I'm not leaving, I'm on the schedule. This Amazon worker thought she could get paid. Watches her manager and the cops pull her out. Everything on CA is like that. TikTok, night and day. TikTok is like, did you know how evil your country is? They're controlling you and they hate you. And this is all the evil shit your country's done. And it's a lot of conspiracy shit, but not like YouTube conspiracy videos are like American flag, implanted square jaw, and he's like, I'm Josh T. America. And did you know the libs are eating pizza in a basement, raping kids? MAGA's gonna clean it up. Like the conspiracy videos, even on CA2, were different in that they only show right wing conspiracy videos on TikTok because again, it's just about making Americans aware how bad our country is, and it is. We don't have the America you thought you did, if we ever did. Um, and we're active like the illusion of America is actively going away. They want to. I'm gonna get into why I'm making this video in a second. They're going to mass kill people, but it's gonna make COVID look like a joke. Anyway, the TikTok formula is they want skepticism and cynicism of America in all political strata, but especially center and left of center. So it's a complete opposite. You won't go on TikTok and see like MAGA T Christian who is they're conspiring to trans your kids, and that's the only conspiracy allowed. And then the lib is like, corporate tea revolution. I'm going to stop the corporate dams. And did you know wealth gaps are great? And did you know everything you have is from the billion? It's just some of these bad billionaires like Elon. You can hate Elon, that's okay, but don't hate the concept of billionaires. And that would be communist. And Bernie's a fucking Nazi and a commie all in one. He's a Nazi commie. Like Bernie is like Goldstein. Like in our society, Bernie functions exactly like Goldstein in the sense he's just there to be hated, to be disregarded. He's fake, just like Goldstein wasn't a real person. And He just exists to absorb hate and disregard, and in doing so, slander the concept of social democratic policies. Like, if the lefties will call him a Nazi, the right will call him a commie. This guy can't win. Anywhere he is, he's the bad guy, right? And he's a joke, and this is preposterous, and he's a bigot, commie, Nazi, commie. So I've actually grown partial, even though I don't like the format, and it's very brain rotty for Zoomers, but I can absolutely appreciate that because it's from the CCP. The political content is not highly polarized toward the American system of billionaire slavery. And it's more oriented to your society sucks, be aware it sucks, they're lying to you, all these things are true. And the conspiracy videos are a mix. And most of them are either center or left of center. And I like to see that because the official respectable liberals are on the same payroll as I'm John T. America, Christian man, crazy shit, vaccines, raw meat. Like those people are on the same side. Anything about you can hate Elon because he's a Nazi, but not the concept of a billionaire. Oh God, you fucking commie piece of shit. I like TikTok. It's that we have lots of center people, and they're not afraid to say shit. To be confused. And the conspiracy, the left of the official respectable narrative, they're not afraid to show those people because they want to undermine America, especially leftistly, right? I'm here for it. Yeah. I mean, don't be wrong, they have right wing, but like I've even noticed this difference on TikTok. The kind of right wing conspiracy theorists they have on there are like Russia adjacent. They're the kind that are frank Nazis, right? Like MAGA Nazis are that kind of like CIA curated Nazi where it's like blacks are DEIs. Shaniqua's gonna lose her job. She don't deserve it because she's a stupid black woman. And Arabs are towelheads, born violent savages. But Israel, Israel, you say shit about Israel, I'll fucking punch you, anti-Semite. Like that's the I call this the CIA curated Nazi because they're Nazis, they're racist, they disregard human groups, and they're white supremacists, but they have this weird blindness because they were made by the CIA where Jews and Israel are with them. So despite every Nazi on earth hating Jews, they don't. And they actually will be very vigilant of anti-Semites and anyone who talks to Israel. I really appreciate this kind of Nazi because when I look at them, I'm like, wow, the CIA made you, huh? It's like the CIA leftist, where they're completely fascist. They think like a fascist, but they call it some kind of leftism. And they're at the park drawing triangles with like TikTok slogans about left wing shit. But they like the Illuminati, and they think the Illuminati is not intrinsically a fascist structure. Like the CIA leftist and the CIA Nazi. The CIA Nazi is a complete fucking bigot who hates everyone, but they won't stand for no anti-Semitism at Israel. And it's because their views were created and nurtured by the CIA, right? And of course, we're close allies with Israel, CIA, Mossad, back and forth friends, so they make these Nazis, they churn them out to hate everyone and be willing to scapegoat anyone except Israel and Jews, right? And you can clock this kind of CIA Nazi because of that. The one thing they'll stand up for is like if you're saying shit about Israel. And then there's the frank Nazi, right? And this is the Russian China adjacent branch of radical right wing nut. And this person is polar opposite in that their number one target is encouraging anti Semitism. And the reason this is so, I'm going to tell you exactly why. It's because Russia and China is very unhappy with MAGA's behavior regarding Middle East global politics, where Israel's getting everything they want with Iran. There's even statements issued before this moment when MAGA rifted between the Russian branch and the CIA branch. where the Kremlin was threatening, like, don't give Israel everything it wants. Don't forget we have leverage on you too and shit. And the Russian branch of right wing Nazi is very anti Semitic, right? They'll go full bore into the Jews control the world, the Jews are evil, the Jews are parasites, and they control inferior minorities to replace white people. That's the classic Nazi, and the Russian disinfo pumps that narrative. And the reason they want to cause this rift is because this allows them to control the narrative of MAGA fans to turn against them with their very uncharacteristic for a Nazi, gung ho support of Israel. Uncharacteristic for a Nazi, but they managed to do it. The typical CIA MAGA Nazi versus the Russian Nazi. And when I say I'm ascribing them to intelligence departments and countries, because most of these Nazis were created online by intelligence, right? And so you can really see which one they're being fed and controlled by their views, if they're pro-Israel or not, and if they're focused mainly on anti-Semitic conspiracies or not. So what I'm trying to say is even the Nazis on Twitter, TikTok have a different quality than the CIA tube Nazis, where they'll highlight a lot of MAGAs who are bigoted and regressive, but none who are anti-Semitic and against Israel. There's a few, but they're not going to be shown to you or promoted heavily. But on TikTok, all I can say is this: on TikTok, there's like no CIA MAGAs where they have that view, that insane, made by the CIA form of Nazism, where they're very pro-Israel and they hate everyone else. TikTok has like, there's one guy I follow. He's probably a Russian CIA hired person, and he promotes classic Nazism. I followed him because it's just like I I just follow a lot of weird people. Like, obviously, I know he's hired to do this, and I think Nazis are disgusting, and always have. They lie I was a Nazi. Like, they know that's not true. Like, they try to incriminate me with David Duke, and I remember being so disgusted. Like, I'm not a Nazi. They made this up, right? That was like 15 years ago or something, right? So I'm not a Nazi. I think this is disgusting, but there's one Nazi I followed, and I like to follow him because it's like, this is not your typical MAGA Nazi made by the CIA, in that he promotes the formal, like, the Jews control the world and the inferior minorities under their control, and they're against superior white people. So I'm just like, I like to follow to see, like, where did this, is this Russia? This must be Russia. Another thing they do a lot is they poison the well. They'll have accounts like, and this is another reason to follow these kind of accounts, is they'll poison the well. They'll have them say a nugget of truth, but because they're saying so much garbage that's gross, it makes the truth look like garbage by association, the poisoning the well strategy. This is why I said it's useful to follow these kind of right-wing accounts, is you can learn a lot of truth using a fine-tooth comb to see which parts are the poison and which parts are the truth. So they'll say something like, the country is for some reason Mexico had mass power outages on 11/11/11/11. What could that possibly mean? And then they'll go and say some, like, the Jews are controlling the world. They'll say some shit like that. So if you have the ability to see which part is the truth and which part is the poison of the well, you can get a lot of clues about what's going on. That's another reason I like to watch these kind of conspiracy accounts. Like, they'll say that kind of truth, and then they'll say some crazy shit, right? And they do it. They deliberately have these people say the truth, but associate with nuttery. So like Nazism, anti-Semitism, bigotry, or in just conspiracy accounts that don't have hate involved. They'll say some crazy fucking shit like they're lizard people. But then they'll say the truth. And if you're paying attention and you can see which, oh, that's really a brag. Like, you start to, I'm very good at recognizing patterns. As someone good at recognizing patterns, despite I have social handicaps, I can pick up what is a real brag and what is a distraction, what is a false target, what is poison for the well, and inside the well is the truth they're trying to poison, right? That is why it is more useful to listen to these deliberate disinformation accounts hired by Russia, hired by the CIA, because they exist to poison the well. So if you look in the well that they're trying to poison and you know what's the poison and what's the well they're trying to drown, you can learn a lot, right? And this is why I like to watch TikTok, because the amount of conspiracy theorists they have is much more varied. And therefore, the types of information they're trying to let you know also more varied. Not let you know, but trying to discredit is more varied, right? And if you have the capacity to understand when they're poisoning the well versus putting the truth in there to be poisoned, you can learn a lot. Just don't walk away. Like, if you don't have this ability, you're going to view something like the number 11 is significant to them and it's associated with a power failure. You're going to use that as equal as they're lizard people. They're literally lizards, right? You won't be able to discern which one has a nugget of truth and which one is there so that you think everything's as crazy as that, right? And that's what the use is of listening to Nazi accounts, of the CIA disinfo accounts, of conspiracy accounts they make, is they use them to poison the well. And if you're aware they're poisoning the well and you have good pattern recognition, you can see which part's the truth and which part's the poison. That's why I like to watch it. And on CIA too, which is for a more mass American audience, they don't do this as much. Like, they still have these well poisoning accounts, but it's much more on TikTok. Anyway, I'm setting this up to make an example of, I just figured out it's 2027. It fits all the data I have. So I've known for a while the next phase of the plan is a mass power failure that will cause complete infrastructure breakdown. I know that's planned. I know it's planned, and I know it's going to be an electric grid failure. And the reason I know this is they have been bragging about it. You know, we look at 9/11, and you can retroactively go back and see all the brags they were making, like movies where 9/11's on fire, The Simpsons, all these things. They had planned 9/11 for many years before they did it. And you can retroactively look back and see all the mocks and brags about it. Now that we're aware and we have that data that they make brags about their global plans for the stage of humanity in the world years in advance, I think it's abundantly clear they're planning on mass slaughtering people in the developed world specifically. They specifically want to mass slaughter people in the developed world. And their motive is this. That is their real plan for global warming. People in undeveloped countries consume a tiny amount of energy and emit very little to contribute to global warming. People in the developed world have a huge green footprint and are, as from the perspective of Illuminati billionaires, are the cause of global warming. People. They want to specifically kill people in the developed world, not the developing world, because of the fact people in the developing world who don't have electricity, who don't have electronics, 100 of them is one person in America or China or wherever, right? India, like assuming they're in a city. The green footprint is huge, and that's the real issue they have with cities is this is the origin of global warming. As far as the Illuminati is concerned, the billionaire class, whatever you want to call them, the Satan Club, whatever name you want to give these people, they're clearly highly organized and few in number. And beneath them are a huge organized network of orbiters helping them. To these people, the only use humanity ever had was producing for them. So, as we can see at this stage of technological development, they don't need us. That's what they're thinking. I don't need you. Like, I just need a few people who are technologically able, and most of you are useless eaters who are just contributing to global warming that's going to affect me. So you need to die. That's what it's about. And this is what I mean. Like, if you watch these conspiracy channels, you take it literally. You don't realize they're poisoning the well. they'll talk about mass death, and they'll kind of hint at that, but then they'll say the green scam, the global warming scam. So you can't connect. They want to kill people because of global warming. And then that gives them a motive. They deliberately sever that connection. So it becomes like you're fearing comical lizards that just want to kill for no reason, right? And that's how they hide the truth in plain sight, by using these accounts to poison the well. And they'll tell you the fucking truth. They're planning on mass deaths through technological failure. And then they'll go in the next video, make a video mocking global warming and saying that's also a scam. There's no global warming. When in reality, it's very fucking real. And that's why they want to kill us. Because they know the planet's warming. They know it's from us and just general planetary trends. And they know if they want to slow it down for themselves, millions of people need to die. It's just that's just that basic, right? I mean, they don't get me wrong, they like doing evil, they like doing harm, they like killing people, but they wouldn't go out of their way to kill millions of people if they didn't think there was something in it for them. Just like I say to these people, like, they're getting you because you're bad. It's like, don't get me wrong, they like rape. They especially like raping Christians. Like, they made ISIS rape Christians. They like rape. They like raping females who are teenagers, who are just, it makes them feel powerful, but they don't do shit for no reason. Right? So they're in such a position, they can both have fun doing evil and make plans that help them. Right? Not every sociopath's in that position. Like, poor ones, killing never helps them. It's just something they do for fun, and that's why so few sociopaths kill. They kill because they're in such an extreme position of power. They can kill and make better plans for their own security and power, and that's why they want to kill millions. When you have that piece, you understand that's why global warming. The planet is warming up because of just general universe planetary trends outside of human control and humans. So, given humans are a part of it, just kill them. Like, it's just that basic to them. Just kill them. And because they're also sociopaths, they enjoy it. They get tickled. Like, we're going to kill millions of people. Like, it's, we have to do it though. We have to make balance. So they both like it, but they don't do shit for no reason. Right? When you're this powerful as a sociopath, you have to like being a sociopath, but you don't ever do shit for no reason. So anytime they're saying they're doing shit for no reason, it's not for no reason. Like, look at Epstein. Yeah, they like raping kids, but it was to control everybody. It was to help find degenerates, uplifting the Democratic Party, because the number one enemy of a billionaire is left of center parties. And it was that plus controlling the MIT guys. What are your big concerns? You're a billionaire. Left of center parties and technology. So yeah, they like rape. They like torturing Christians. They like doing all that for fun. But they don't do anything for no reason because they're so powerful. They don't have to ever do anything for no reason. Everything they have enough power where every move they make can help them or hurt them, and they always make sure their moves help them. Anything they do is a move. It's a kind of thing. If you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. But for a sick global billionaire, if you do what you love, you're never working. And what they love to do is make plans 100, 200, 300 years into the future where they're going to still be in power and also hurt people. So they're doing their thing, It's like, if you enjoy being a nurse, you're still working for money, but you enjoy it. That's a lot like what the Illuminati does. Like, they enjoy rape, they enjoy killing people. They're sociopaths, but don't ever think they do anything for no reason. They don't have to. Like, they're powerful enough where all of your sociopathic can be for a goal. And it is. So that's the missing piece, why they would want to kill millions of people. And you can see these brags everywhere for the past few fucking years. I have this tweet burned in my head of that piece of shit, no talent garbage pail Kanye West, sucking Illuminati dick, evil, evil, evil. Where, he did his whole shtick. He pretends to be bipolar. He's got like a Mel Gibson-y role. Mel Gibson, he pretends to be the crazy Christian who's a bigot. That's kind of Kanye's role. He's the crazy black bigot, right? Crazy black Nazi who's bipolar, just like Mel Gibson. And he was on X, doing a little brag, sucking Elon Musk's dick. And he said, Elon, you look like a Chinese genius. And right away, that's like, China? Like, you're focused on China, not America? And then he goes, if you control the energy companies, you can control the world. And, they're framing it as like the ramblings of crazy old Kanye, but I saw it for what it was. He's mocking, they plan to kill America through energy grid failure. Oh, it's clear as day. You can see this over and over where they're mocking you. Think about the World Economic Forum's Green New Deal. Great Reset. Sorry. On the beginning of Biden's term. Hope. We're the good guys. Hope. With the Green New Deal, Great Reset. Even the name Great Reset is a huge fucking mock. Do you know what you do when technology's not working out? You turn it off. You shut down and reset it. And they named their plan to reduce global warming the Great Reset. And it's mocking what they're really going to do. They're literally going to turn off the electricity. They're literally going to do some fucking ridiculous shit where we're billionaires, we can't fix it. The Chinese hackers are doing this to us. I know that's what's coming. And even the Great Reset is a mock. And inside, we're going to invest in green technologies, we're going to do this and that. It's like, no, what you're going to do is kill millions of people. It's going to make COVID look like a joke. That's what you're planning to do. I can see it. I can see the World Economic Forum laughing. And that your Great Reset is the real reset is killing millions of people in the developed world, specifically America. Yep, that's your real Great Reset. But you put this out after Trump, Biden in office, and make your slave. Like this is they love it. Like do what you love. You never work a day in your life. They love being evil. Enjoy it. Yeah, so I've known for a while, years, that something like this is gonna happen. Because I now have the pattern recognition, because I'm good at pattern recognition to see when they're really mocking and when they're throwing you off. Anyway, the reason I'm mentioning this is I saw a TikTok conspiracy, and like I say, I love them because if you have the ability to move the garbage away, you can see the parts that might be true. It'd be a clue because they exist to poison a well to invalidate the truth. And this conspiracy hired guy, Schilling, made a video how in Mexico there were mass power outages on November 11th, 11/11. So something about the number of 11 is clearly significant, right? And he's just like, what could this mean? He's a Canadian guy with a Canadian accent. What could this mean, eh? I don't know, eh? He's like, power grid failure, right? Eh? And I looked at it like, because my heart sunk, because I've been seeing this message over and over, you know? And they're not like before they would drop a few hints of now they're doing it constantly with the power grid thing, right? So I decided to look at it like, what could the number 11 mean to these people? So I found some evidence in the Scottish rites of Masonry indicates fortitude in the face of corruption. I realized that's probably not relevant to them. They are the corruption. And then I found something very interesting. Occult numerology. The number 11 in occult numerology symbolizes Baphomet. The symbology of Baphomet is represented by the number 11. In the sense, in occult numerology, 2 is the purest feminine energy, 1 is the purest masculine energy. 11 symbolizes exemplified masculine and feminine energy combined in one entity. The most masculine and the most feminine in one being. Baphomet is a half male, half female creature symbolizing the totality of humanity and power in both sexes. It symbolizes making balance. Again, that's their whole thing with Baphomet. While they do evil, they call it balance. While they do self-serving evil, they call it balance. It represents enlightenment. Again, we know we call themselves the Illuminati, and they pretend that they're enlightened when they're actually a criminal cult. And so I was like, oh shit. When I saw that, I was like, oh, 11 symbolizes them, their cult. And then I started thinking in terms of a, because I know it's a brag, I know it's about the future. And I think they chose to do it in Mexico because right now Mexico is being scapegoated in this phase of NWO. In this phase of the NWO, this phase we're in has begun with the election of George Bush and 9/11. And we are at the end of this phase. The next phase will be mass deaths and rebuilding a new society. I know we're at the tail end of the first phase. And I also know my targeting is very connected to their NWO plans in the sense the symbolism. I retroactively analyzed when I was targeted. It was 11/27/2001. They went looking for a victim. I don't know if I was targeted on that day, but they were looking for their victim on 11/27/2001. That's when they scripted they're going to raid their CIA Stormfront. And I know I was targeted shortly around that time. So it should be mentioned 9/11, 11/27, 2 plus 7 is 9, 11/9. Right? There's that duality there. And again, it's very Baphomet, like the inversion, the balance, 9/11, 11/9. I know they like these symbols. This is not coming from me. This is me trying to understand decadent psychopaths in a criminal cult that controls the world. They love this shit. They do use numbers and symbols all the time to brag. So it should be established this phase began with 9/11. That was the beginning of tearing down the liberal world. The very beginning. That was the first time we were told we have to lose some of our rights. It was the first time we were told we need new departments and we'd be restricted. It was the first time outside of war where that was the case. Outside of war, that's very important because while they have restricted rights and taken rights and done shit in times of war, war is about protecting the country. This was a terror attack. They told us was war, but it wasn't. And they made war using an excuse. But we still agreed to give away our rights despite no war existing. We made the war. That was absolutely a huge escalation for them. That they could get us to give away our rights and become authoritarian because something happened. This is completely unlike historical precedents like Pearl Harbor. They let Pearl Harbor happen. They made Pearl Harbor, but we were at war. I mean, there was war going on. Do you see the difference? Pearl Harbor was a terror attack that told us to go to war, but it's because war was already happening. And what Pearl Harbor said is, you can't be isolated here. You're near Japan. Japan is with Germany. That is the difference. So when we went to war because of Pearl Harbor, there was actually a war going on. It was like a wake up. You're not, I know you feel isolated between the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean, but you are not isolated. It just feels that way. Like they made Pearl Harbor happen, but there actually was a war. And so the attack from Pearl Harbor was attack of war. Japan was in the war. Japan attacked us. I mean, this was they set it up, but this is the logical pretense. It's completely different. 9/11, where there was no war. No one was at war, but we had to go to war. Now, it's like what? Like, and then they made, well, you see, the terrorists have WMDs, and these governments are doing it, so we're at war with them now, and it's like that was a huge fucking escalation. It was nothing. They did a script similar to Pearl Harbor, but one where it's such a leap, where it's like completely illiberal, right? The World War II script was this: the world's at war, the Axis and the Allies, we're staying out, and it was unpopular. Americans, the average man, didn't see like why is Europeans at war have to do with us? Japan was in the war. They were all in the war, and Japan attacked us. That is an act of war. It was not a liberal violation to then restrict rights and behave as if your time at war, because it was an act of war. There was a war going on, and one of the countries at war attacked us, bringing us into it. Again, I'm saying the pretense is consistent. Having to do special shit then and limit your freedoms is because now you're at war, because the warring countries warred with you. That was the pretense, and it was consistent. This was something entirely fucking new, where a building blew up, there's no war going on, and we're like, well, now we have to go to war, and we have to lose our rights. And we were like, sure, I'll put a boot in your ass if you disagree with W. That was a whole ass new thing. And that's why I say this started with W. This phase where they're killing the concept of human rights liberalism. From progressing to killing started with W. Don't buy these liberals. Trump goes away. It's fixed. It's fixed. It's not fixed. He's a fucking demented celebrity like Reagan. Like, he don't do shit. It will not be fixed. They'll just put Kid Rock there or JD Vance. Yeah, so I'm going off tangent, but I'm trying to say this phase of NWO, the plan they have started with 9/11. My targeting is very symbolic to the whole of America's future. For real, it is. Even that detail, 9/11, 11/27. They love these little number games, right? Anyway, they made this display 11/11, and I researched that, and like, oh shit, in occult numerology, it symbolizes Baphomet. Fuck. And then it clicked. What the year? I'm like, it's gonna be soon. And then I clicked, the year is gonna be 2027. Because again, you see that numerology thing, 202711, the Baphomet number, right? And they could make it any year, but they're gonna make it 2027, the last year, a year before Trump's term ends, for fun. Because again, you do what you love, you never work a day in your life, and they love being evil. They love toying with millions of people and saying it's such a tragedy, like Emily Dean's. Such tragedies have to happen. The ghosts of my slave-owning ancestors roam the halls of North Carolina, she said in August, before the natural disaster. And the slave-owning ancestors of North Carolina are meandering so many ghosts here. Such a pity. I have to be a global elite sack of shit. You know, like, they love it. Like, you do the evil, you never work a day in your life, right? If you love it. They love it. So that's what I mean. Like, they could do it anytime, but they're going to choose 2027 because of the Baphomet thing. It's like, ooh, when I realized that, it was like, and then I realized more debt I had. Remember when they gave my nieces FSHD? And then they hired that pig, Chip Wilson, to say there's going to be a cure in 2027? That was a mock. It was a mock. Because they know I'd be reading it, and my family. I'm like, really? 2027? And it's a mock, because that's actually when the world's planning to end. When they're planning to do their stupid bullshit to kill millions of people, the real Great Reset. And it's because they don't want developed world humans, because they just consume shit and cause global warming. While their conspiracy accounts say the global warming's not real. It just clicked. Oh, it's 2027. It is, isn't it? 11, 9/11, gap of 2. Oh, shit. Yeah, so in the event someone watching this is real, in the event you're a clinger and they didn't tell you shit besides you're going to be rich, your world's ending in 2027. Come back to this. I've been right so far. Your world's over in 2027, and they're not going to protect you. They are not going to protect you. The whole reason they're doing this is they don't care about people like you. They will use you, and they love to use people, but you're going to be wandering the streets with no food, no communications with everybody else. Yeah. So enjoy your feeling of power for now. 2027 is it. And I think to myself, I know it's going to be a mass power tech failure they're going to simulate. It's going to make COVID look like a joke. How are they going to get away with this? And it's probably going to be just like COVID. They're going to blame the Chinese. They're going to say Chinese hackers, Russian hackers, and Chinese hackers. We can't control our power grid. It's just, and they're going to then say Trump cut everything, so we can't fix it. Because Trump's cuts and the decaying infrastructure and the Chinese hackers, you just have to like there's gonna be mass blackouts and for prolonged periods in the most densest populated cities and all over the country really. And they have I know this. There's a magic number of people they want to kill, and they will not stop until they're dead. 2027, the Illuminati number of balance, 11. Look, I hope you're as connected as you think you are. I suspect you'll find out you're not if you're watching this.